Hello and welcome to the Critically Curious. I'm Monk, and we are back inside our impossible playthrough for Empire of Sin. Now, this is an interesting episode because at the end of the last episode, we actually took down our very first safe house. Do you know what? It was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be, which is really cool. I'm glad that it was a little bit easy. I'm glad that we didn't really have any kind of huge fatalities or huge issues. We did get ourselves a very cool weapon, which is pretty cool. That's already equipped onto Cristiano, because he is, of course, one of, if not the best gangster in the game. So everything is looking quite pretty. All of the bosses are now out of our neighborhood, so what that means is we need to clean up the mess. The other precincts that were owned by the previous boss has now gone over to the thugs, so we need to take on the thugs, take on the depots, and of course completely take over our neighborhood. Now, it really shouldn't be too much of an issue. The thugs shouldn't present too much of a problem. Their depots do not get reinforcements, so we don't have to go around taking out their rackets. After that, after we actually sort that out, we will have a look at who we should attack next. Now, we are in a bit of a predicament because we certainly don't have the kind of money that we would like. Our expenditures are over what they should be as well, so we are in a little bit of a problem. We need to fix that, maybe find a way to plug the gap. We also have upgrades to do to our businesses as well, because we've kind of been neglecting our actual empire, and a big part of why we don't have money is because we haven't been upgrading where necessary. So we need to kind of do a little bit of a balancing act and see what we can do in this episode. For anyone that hasn't been playing along, this is possibly the last playthrough we are actually doing on the channel. That's a bit sad. However, for the last playthrough, potentially, we are doing something rather special. This is, in my opinion, the hardest playthrough I have ever attempted on the channel. I often do challenge runs. I've done quite a few actually now. Within this one, within this Nuzlocke, we are not allowed to use our hero. We have chosen Frankie Donovan as our hero. He is, however, stuck behind a desk. We are also not allowed to use any healing item while in combat. Now, that also means that I'm not allowed to use a medic's heal ability. Although I do have a medic, although I have actually killed rather a lot. We'll talk about that again in a little minute. Although I have a medic, I'm not allowed to use her during combat. I'm allowed to use her afterwards to heal everyone. And of course, probably the hardest part of all is that I'm not allowed to use guns. I'm only allowed to use melee weapons and abilities. Now, when it comes to abilities, I'm not allowed to use an explosives expert's ability where he lobs a grenade. I believe that's called a shrapnel grenade. I'm not allowed to use that. I would like to, however. If anyone would like me to be able to use them in this playthrough, let me know down in the comments, but I haven't used them so far, so we might as well not use them at all. And yeah, I guess that's all of the rules. We are on boss difficulty. We have got the least amount of neighborhoods around, and we started this playthrough with every single boss in the game, which I believe was 15. Now, lots of the bosses have died, one of them by our very own hands. And it's taken a hell of a lot of gusto to get to where we are currently in the playthrough. I do feel like we've got a very, very strong team right now. We've got some of the best gangsters in the game. We really are hitting the mark when it comes to quality recruitments. It is costing us an arm and a leg, however. And I believe the death count is actually up to 15. We have lost 15 gangsters at my last count, which is an awful lot. I've never actually lost so many gangsters in one playthrough ever, so that's kind of saying something. And yeah, so it is kind of hard, and that is where we are up to so far. Things are ticking along though. As you can see, this depot is kind of a straightforward attack. Nothing really has happened. There's been no real troubles or traumas, and yeah, we're just trying to get everyone kills and work through it. I am wondering whether to even bother with Baby Monks, though. He seems far too far away to actually do anything, unfortunately. So I guess we'll just end his turn. I was hoping someone would move perhaps a little bit closer to him. It didn't happen. I do like Cristiano. He's got a really good melee. Being one of the best gangsters in the game, top tier gangster, he does have access to pretty much everything immediately within the melee range. And of course, the weapon that he's using inflicts bleed and also poison, which I think is kind of awesome. That is a guaranteed 35 damage per turn that passes, even if he doesn't actually successfully kill somebody. Which is pretty awesome. And Dottie doing what Dottie does best. There is one more gangster I would quite like to hire. Can we afford them right now? Absolutely not. But that is Williams. Williams has incredibly high leadership, which we don't necessarily need right now, but she also has a high health pool. And of course, us being a melee zone, we do kind of need those high health pools. I am tempted to get rid of some of the lesser gangsters, lesser tier gangsters that we have, but they do make up such a little amount of money that I don't know if long term it would be worth it, considering the ones I would probably get rid of are Gabby and I have misplaced his name, but it's basically my two enforcers, and I absolutely do need them. The more enforcers we have, the better. At the moment, we are using those two as kind of like our bulk up guys. They have an ability which is bullet shield. It means that our troops sustain less damage. That has been fundamental throughout the playthrough. We probably couldn't be where we are right now if we didn't have that ability. So getting rid of them just doesn't seem like a good idea. Getting rid of Grover is possibly on the cards. I'd rather not. We've had him for quite a while. If we're going to get rid of him, I'd prefer him just to die, to be fair. I'm quite surprised that Diana has lasted as long as she has. Now we have got a extremely poor track record when it comes to medics and this playthrough. So she's doing good. I really hope she stays alive. We don't have enough meds if she doesn't stay alive. So if she does ever die, we are extremely screwed. I believe there's one other medic we can possibly hire. So yeah, I really hope she does stay alive, and she is definitely not up for negotiations when it comes to giving someone the cut. Standard thug depot here. We are up against 8 thugs. I believe there is like a thug leader as well. He has a slightly bigger health pool. This really won't be a huge problem. I very much doubt they will hurt us at all. Let's see how things go. They are kind of split up. We got 3 on the right and the rest are up top. So I do need to make sure that I do take them out altogether. And I don't allow the 3 on the right to kind of come up behind me. There we go. It's such a shame with Empire Sin. Kind of received a little bit more bad news for the game. I am a member of the Romero Games Discord. For people that don't know, Romero Games are the people that made this game. Now, they actually had a thread for Empire of Sin, but it seems that unfortunately they have shut that thread down. Those conversations are no longer taking part at Romero Games, and I think that's a little bit of a shame. I'm sure they would have wanted to continue with Empire Sin if they were, allotted the ability to do so. And it just seems that that's just more evidence that this game truly is in its final state. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Do I still enjoy it? Of course I do. Otherwise I wouldn't be playing it. I just wish that more people were able to jump in, play this game and enjoy it for what it's actually worth. Clyde, that's the guy. Clyde. I've had him since the beginning of the game, and he is the enforcer that I use for Bullet Shield. He has incredibly bad initiative. He is technically one of the worst gangsters in the game, but for sentimental reasons, I keep him around. He really should be someone that I let go. The same with Gabby, both of them. Neither of them have particularly high health pools, and neither of them have particularly high initiative, and because of that they are always last to attack. They don't have particularly high movement speed as well, so they don't get across the field as quick as a lot of the other gangsters. All of these are reasons why I should probably trim the fat, get rid of them. But at the same time, because I am doing a melee run, I kind of need bodies, sometimes you can't take people out with 1 or 2 attacks. Sometimes you have to repeatedly attack them. That's why I need bodies. And so having those lower tier gangsters, I believe I've got 3 if you include Grover. I think Grover is a tier 2 gangster. So we've got 3 low tier gangsters, and I kind of need the bodies. So I'd prefer to have them than, for instance, the fixer that I got. Although, again, my fixer has been incredibly useful. In fact, her crow's feet are probably single-handedly keeping me in the game when it comes to these depot battles. And again, fundamentally, it was her that probably won me the safe house battle as well, because she controlled the doorway with the crow's feet. Very, very good. Very, very useful. Patrick's just sitting back though. Don't need him. Might as well end his turn.
That's it, you fucker. All right.
But as you can see, they do put in effort, and if you watch back through the playthrough, you'll see that both Gabby and Clyde have got in a lot of kills over the course of the playthrough. I wouldn't necessarily look too much on the figure because, of course, I have boosted their kills through destroying the cops. I mean, I did single-handedly go to war with the cops. I probably shouldn't have done that, but at the same time, I did need to boost their kills quite a lot in order to get the perks of the higher tier when it comes to weapon proficiency. But there we go, guys. We have taken over our second depot within this episode, and that does secure us the neighborhood, of course. Now, I didn't do it for the last precinct that we owned, but I really do feel like I should buy up some of these businesses, one of each, possibly. We do need to be generating more money. The only way to generate more money is to invest in these businesses. We've already done all of the dodgy trades that we could possibly do. So when it comes to money now, this is what I need to do. I do need to invest, buy a ton of businesses, upgrade the businesses, make sure that I am pumping out as much whiskey as possible, have as many speakeasies as open as possible as well. Speakeasies is, of course, where you can sell your whiskey. Hopefully, given time, we will be okay. But here it is. We have successfully taken over an entire neighborhood. It's just a question of where we go next now. And as I said, I do actually need to upgrade. Really, it's alcohol quality and production that I want to upgrade. That one looks okay for now. This one hasn't been upgraded at all. So again, alcohol quality and production. We want to turn out better alcohol. And we want to, you know, turn it out a lot faster as well. Does take a little bit of time to do though. Let's start moving our troops out and trying to decide where it is we want to go. Now we can either move into a brand new neighborhood, or we can finish up what we were already doing and have a go at Stephanie. I'm not really sure what to do. I think we actually have access. That's a shame. I was literally about to say we actually have access to the Card Shark safe house, which is an interesting one because we could actually just go straight and destroy her. However, Daniel McGee Jackson has just declared war against me. So I'm not really happy with him for doing that. I guess he has made it easy for us though, and we are at war with the Vice Kings. In fact, he's already sent a little party into my neighborhood. Bit of a git, if you ask me. First of all, let's do Bullet Shield. Remember, we can actually use all of our abilities before engaging in combat. When we launch Ambush, what that actually does is effectively pause the game. You can seriously exploit the game through Ambush. That's kind of something we have found out throughout the course of this playthrough. It's not something I ever really documented massively on the channel. Perhaps I should do its very own video. I know people are still playing this game. I know that it's recently been removed from Game Pass. May pop back onto it at some point, but it does have regular sales, so there's still people playing the game. Maybe it'll get some views. A little updated video can't hurt. But yeah, basically you can seriously manipulate the game through the ambush menu. We can heal our troops. As you saw, we just used the bullet buff, or the bullet shield, which does actually buff our troops. And we can do that without any kind of combat actually triggering. It's only when you attack somebody, actually target the enemy in some way, that the turn-based combat will start. And of course that does include moving our troops around the board. So I have mentioned curb crawling before, as I affectionately call it. But yeah, that's another thing that we can do from that ambush menu. There we go. Nice, easy, quick win. I don't think we sustained any damage there. I think that was quite an easy battle. Now, I do think that the Vice Kings are a bit of a git. I don't want them in my territory. I am thinking about trying to take over maybe this first little precinct. However, having a little look, I'm not sure I see the depot, and if I don't see the depot, then perhaps that means that their safe house is around here. And if their safe house is around here, I'm kind of tempted to take out Daniel McGee Jackson. After all, he did declare war against me. One thing about that, I kind of want to take on Stephanie first, because I think Stephanie is the other boss that actually has a dual unique weapons. Not only does she have a sniper rifle, I believe, but she also has the number cruncher, which is a unique sledgehammer, which happens to be the melee weapon. And of course I am using melee, so that would actually be rather helpful. Especially as I still have Grover using a regular sledgehammer anyway, I could perhaps upgrade him a little bit.
Let's go.
53 damage with a crit. That's not too bad. Not amazing. I would like some more. Some better weapons, some more trinkets. We never really got lucky with it too much within this playthrough, unfortunately.
Well, I'll be. Hey, how do you like that?
Attempt to bribe. Bribe succeeded. We are extremely low on cash, which really isn't great. Hopefully, we can even those odds a little bit. Maybe not in this episode, but hopefully in the next episode we can get some money back. I'm sure we've got items that we can sell, for instance, within the black market. It will help us out a little bit. Of course, the more time that pass, all of the upgrades will go down. We will earn more money. If necessary, we will drop people from our crew. We have got an extremely large crew after all, which is exactly what's draining our money, especially as we have all of those top tier troops. We've got 9 people in our crew that we're currently using. Of course, we do have the boss as well, which makes it up to 10, but he is behind a desk. I love the ability of Cristiano because of his class. He has access to throwing axes, throwing knives, and of course the throwing knife only costs 1 AP, which means we're able to use his melee ability as well. So we're able to do double damage effectively with Cristiano. That being said, he also has that special unique weapon, so he really is helping us out with massive damage attack. Get Dottie to have a good attack. Oh, that's not too bad, you know. They threw an explosive. It could have been extremely bad. It really didn't hurt that much. It does hurt multiple people, though. It does typically give you some debuffs to those explosives. We've been fairly lucky in this playthrough in a sense. We haven't had too many explosives go off, thankfully. Hopefully I haven't just jinxed it and that doesn't change. I quite like the fact that this has been quite a generous playthrough with explosives. Two more turns for the AI, and then of course we get Clyde and Gabby. Two old guys now, back of the bus. That's kind of helpful. We have hair trigger activated. Cristiano has used his throwing knife and his throwing axe to deal a lot of damage. Gabby can't do anything. We will use bullet shield. Why not? Cristiano's turn now. Where to attack? Now we have got that run up ability, so we actually do more damage the more distance we have to travel. So I think Grover could use a kill. Of course, when he does actually get a melee kill, he does get a little bit of health back. That's one of the perks that he does have. He was rather low on health. I would like to avoid a death in this episode. It would be quite nice to see no gangsters die for once. I'd like to avoid that death count raising anymore. Of course, now we do have rather good gangsters. It would be nice to see them actually start living.
Okay.
kind of need to upgrade Bruno as well. He currently has the sledgehammer. Now, it doesn't do particularly a lot of damage. He is one of the higher tier gangsters, however, so he does happen to do a good amount of damage. But yeah, I would really like to give him a purple hatchet, machete, something like that. Can't really spare any at the moment, though. He is another contender for that number cruncher, though, and another good reason why taking on Stephanie first could be a good option. Let me know down in the comments, guys, who should I attack first? Should it be Daniel McGee Jackson? Should it be Stephanie? Whose safe house should I hit? I'm kind of leaning towards Stephanie personally. And honestly, any and all interaction helps massively with these videos. Empire Sin isn't too popular, so it really does help the algorithm just to, you know, it to reach that kind of audience that it is looking for. I think we've got 1 or 2 left now. Maybe just the 1, actually.
I'm on it.
No, there is one more gangster for us to take out.
Okay.
Is Clyde actually going to get the final go? He did. Very cool. There we go. Clyde actually got the final attack. And this is exactly why I need those lower tier gangsters, because having those extra numbers just means that I can plow through it a little bit better. Numbers counts with melee, absolutely. Right, guys, I'm going to end this episode about here. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, again, don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And I have mentioned Discords a couple of times within this episode. We do have an active and growing Discord, and we do have a thread for Empire Sin, one in which I will not be closing anytime soon. So if you want a place to talk and chat about this game, then look nowhere else. We have you covered. The link is down in the description. Hopefully in the next episode we will be looking at a safe house. I'm gonna have a look for Daniel McGee Jackson's safe house. If I can find it in his neighborhood, then it obviously isn't within this precinct we're hitting, and I kind of feel like we might be doing Stephanie's safe house instead in the next episode. So keep your eyes peeled for next week. But until then, I've been a monk, we've been Inquisitive Kudos, and I will see you in the next episode real soon. Until then, take it easy and happy gaming.
I'm on it.